The coalition has picked up ground in the latest news poll, but on this data, Labor still heading for a comfortable victory. Scott Morrison's popularity edging up. Many voters still remain undecided, though. Let's bring in Cabinet Minister David Littleproud, the Deputy Nationals leader, and Minister for Agriculture. We'll get to the polling and the politics in a moment, but first up, you've announced quite a significant commitment to the wine industry. To Wine Australia. Talk us through what this is about. I know you're out at Clonakilla in Murrumbateman near Canberra today announcing this. What are you trying to do to help boost the industry?
Yeah, look, the wine industry has probably been the hardest impacted by China's coercion over our markets, agricultural markets here. They lost $1.2 billion overnight in a marketplace with tariffs of 195% and above. So they didn't panic. They worked maturely through this with us, and we've been working to make sure we find new markets. And the India Free Trade Agreement, in fact, opens that up. 1.3 billion people see in India, and part of that free trade agreement takes tariffs from 150% down to 25%. But we need to be able to connect business with the importers from India to make sure that we get that business-to-business connection. We need industry to understand they are the best, who understand how we can do that. And so $2.8 million about putting investment into trade grants, putting counsellors on the ground, but also ambassadors, wine ambassadors. It sounds like a pretty good job. Yeah. And they're going to be on the ground, getting that strategic direction for us to get business-to-business direction up and going, but also some transparency around marketplace. This gives them a real lift. We've been able to sign a free trade agreement with the UK that also helped the wine industry, and it's building on what we've done in Korea and Japan and also in North America. So those are India.
Obviously, India's a massive market, but what is the demand for wine?
Well, it's increasing significantly as we're seeing an increasing middle class. They're obviously opening their palates up to good wine, and we obviously, through this free trade agreement, the only country in the world to be able to achieve this is something we should be damn proud of, is the fact that we're going to be able to give our farmers access into a marketplace that has been locked to so many. And it's because of politically, domestically, they have over half the population employed in agriculture. They've been very protected in terms of how they produce. And to open that up to Australia is important. The wine industry is at the lead of taking that opportunity.
Some sectors missed out, though. Chickpeas is one that I've had the industry complain to us about, saying that, they had a tariff in 2018 slapped on them of 60%. That's still there.
Well, look, in
India.
Yeah, look, in the pursuit of perfection, you don't give up on what you can achieve. And we were never going to get chickpeas signed up in this free trade agreement. And if we insisted, we would have lost it all. So do you cut your nose to spite your face, or do you take what you can get and build on it? This is a great building block. And the grains industry, in fact, got better market access and reduction in tariffs on barley. We'll work on chickpeas. They'll take time. But the political power that farmers have, over 51% work in agriculture, their protection policies are very strong domestically, and we've got to respect that. But to get this free trade agreement is something quite powerful, and we've also sent an invitation to them to join our agricultural visa.
Yeah, this is an interesting element, the ag visa, because that hasn't been reported on widely. But how many people are you talking about involving from India in terms of the ag visa?
Well, the ag visa is a demand-driven program. And so this also has opportunity around transfer of knowledge for the Indian agricultural sector about coming to Australia, working in the agricultural sector here and taking many of those practices back to India. So it's a win-win opportunity here, and that invitation's been extended by the Trade Minister.
Have we got anyone on the ground on the ag visa yet? I know there's been a lot of fanfare about it, but is anyone here in Australia working on the ag visa yet?
Not yet. The first country signed up. So while the ag visa, we put the ag visa in place on the 1st of October, these are sovereign countries we're negotiating with, and Vietnam is the first country to sign an MOU. And what that MOU is an implementation plan. And that implementation plan is now for Maurice Payne to sign contracts with the approved employers and labour hire companies that we've already found. So
how soon before they start arriving?
As soon as Maurice can sign those contracts, those deeds with those approved employers, we then go into Vietnam with the Vietnam government and identify those workers that we can bring in. So it's as quick as Maurice Payne can sign those contracts with those approved employers that we will be able to get people on the ground from Vietnam. And then hopefully we'll be able to have further conversation with India about joining that as well, along with the other countries we're in bilats with.
On to the politics now, and the Prime Minister says that Anthony Albanese's trying to skate through without scrutiny, that he wants to rush to an election. Isn't it also true that the Prime Minister wants to drag it on as long as he can so he can try and make a bit of ground?
Well, he's been in hiding for 3 years, Anthony Albanese, and his only model is around character assassination. Is that who you want as a Prime Minister that's simply going to skate through without any scrutiny? No rule are put over his policies about the costings of it, to simply come in and to character assassinate a Prime Minister rather than actually put his policies forward and be able to articulate and debate those. This is about time for the Australian people to make an informed decision. What we're saying is it should be a period whereby you should come under scrutiny. We should look under the bonnet of the Labor Party. Are they saying that they're going to have a flexible tax policy? What does that mean? They took $387 billion worth of taxes to the last election. If they're saying it's flexible, they're just not going to tell you that the 387's there this time. They're just going to wait till after.
Well, they've ruled it out. Yesterday I had Jim Chalmers on Sunday Agenda. He said there's no taxes.
Well, then what's a flexible tax policy? A flexible tax policy means that if you're going to spend more money, someone's got to repay it. And our idea is about growing the pie, because the only people that repay it are you, the Australian people. And we need to empower you to do that, or their policy is to tax you.
Is Scott Morrison a drag on the coalition's vote?
No. And obviously, you've got to appreciate that over the last 3 years, there has probably been no government in our nation's history that has had to face up to the variety and scale of challenges that this government has had to face up to. And if you reflect just for a few moments and think where we are on an economic and health front, we are the envy of the world. And as Australians, we should be damn proud of that. And our future has been given a strong foundation stone to move forward with.
We've got some breaking news here. I just want to get your reaction to this. Tasmanian Premier Peter Gutwein has announced he's resigning as Premier from the State Parliament. He only won the state election last May that he called early. That's news just in. He's speaking there now. We'll take you there in just a moment. But just quickly, your thoughts on that?
Well, I'm shocked, and I think that Tasmania is one of the fastest growing economies. He's kept the people of Tasmania safe. So this is a big loss. But obviously, I think we need to understand and appreciate the circumstances before any gratuitous advice or commentary is given from the sidelines.
David Littleproud, thanks. Appreciate it.